Mel,
Right.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
So the post-debate showdown, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I told Mel, I said, well, we got to do the post-debate showdown after the debate. And then I looked to see what time it was going to be. And yeah, we'll have to push that off until another evening.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Get a chance to digest it anyway. It's hard to digest.
Yeah, and I had to rewatch some of it too because it was a lot of noise going on.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, before we get into that, I got some kind of strange news. You know, where I was complaining about getting guys into the workforce and stuff like that, and how we had formed that cooperation with the college on getting something done and starting their programs up.
Yeah.
Well, the big stumbling block, Tina Grillet, got fired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is a big step forward because she was just stopping the whole thing, and all of a sudden it's busted back wide open.
That's great to hear. I
That is
mean,
a great thing to
I've had
hear.
my own fair dealings with that gal.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, she single-handedly just destroyed what potentially, and of course they've lost 2 years and jacking around with it, but at least they're coming back around. They saw the light and got rid of that idiot, and hopefully put them back on track.
Oh, that was a well organized move.
It really was. I don't know who came over there. I don't know what the final straw that broke the camel's back, but I bitched about him bitched enough about her to them, and it fell on deaf ears. But
Yeah, good for them.
yeah, absolutely.
And I hear they're going to be doing some more industry tours here soon. So
Oh, really?
maybe that is all kind of
God, I hope so.
part of the prize, you know.
They spent all that time getting certified as an instructor, and it was just all for naught because she wouldn't do a damn thing. But hey, academia moves real slow. If it moves at all. Well, on to the rest of the show.
Exactly. Yeah, we could go diving in deep on that one. But no, kudos to you guys at the college
yeah,
for
yeah,
doing
yeah.
something on that because
Absolutely.
that needed to happen.
Absolutely.
Hate to see anybody lose their job involuntarily, but whew,
Yeah, but you got to move on.
yeah,
You got to move on.
sometimes you got to pull the plug.
You do. You do. It ain't about you.
So, post-debate showdown, Mel and I were just you planned on watching it together even, and we didn't get that done either. But I don't know. I thought it was borderline atrocious. I couldn't stand the interference ran by Chris Wallace. It just really pissed me off. You know, and Trump seen it early on. He immediately, within the first couple minutes of the debate, called out Chris Wallace, say, "Hey, am I debating you too, or whatever is."
By debating you or him.
Yeah, and you know, really powerful. But Wallace didn't let up, Mel. He just kept hammering Trump, and all evening, even the questions he posed, they're almost all slanted towards
Well, he's
discredit for Trump.
Well, you know, he's got a lot to lose. There's many records of him going to Boys Island with Epstein.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, man, it's all over the place. Yeah,
Okay,
photographs and everything.
So maybe that's what's happening here.
Yeah, a lot of people, they have a lot to lose if Trump, you know, continues to drain the swamp, and, you know, there's arresting all these pedophilias and saving all these kids, and all of a sudden that never happened before. You know, we talked about the kids on the milk carton. Aliens didn't pick them up.
Yep. No, and that was, you know, I did think, and I did listen back to a lot of it, not all of it, but if you can put aside all the arguing amongst the three of them and start listening to just the content. You know, Biden was a lost puppy. He lied throughout the whole thing. Did everything from denying the Hunter Biden involvement with collecting the $3.5 million from the Russians to his position on law enforcement.
Oh.
I mean, you know, he just lied through his teeth.
Disavowing the Green New Deal.
Yeah, exactly. And
Then he brought up the unfounded tax returns. Yeah, that's just suicide crap. But they almost promote it though, because no matter what the right does, the left is going to do something worse and blame the right for it.
oh, that ain't true.
Fuck.
So I don't know, Mel. I don't know how you took it all in. I did not care for Trump's style and the disruptions. You know, and maybe some of it was by design, where he was trying to be that aggressive. But I think he took it too far. Personally, I don't think that lended well with women at all. Yeah. And I wish he'd have been a lot more controlled in his. And here's what I feel like he should have done. He should have had a template every time Wallace asks a question, or the moderator, he writes down the question, or, cliff notes of it. And then when Biden goes speaking, he needs to write down everything Biden lied about and have a commentary on that, and then hit it with a couple quick little things that he's going to do better. But there just really wasn't a lot of positive movement out of that debate, Mel. I mean, everything they both said we've heard before, and just really
my take is completely different on that.
No revelations, and I don't think it moved the meter at all.
Oh, probably not. Other than I liked the part where I think Trump went out there with a righteous axe to grind, because he's fighting Wallace, he's fighting the entire structure of the media, he's fighting the entire debate system, and he's fighting Biden and his entire left-wing thing. He has nothing but uphill battle, and you got to start out swinging. If you got that many arcs to kill, that axe better be sharp. You better be swinging it a bunch. Because he had a long way to go, and he didn't back up an inch. That's an alpha male.
Well, he's certainly an alpha, and you bring up a good point. And if nobody believes the media's interference and guys like Chris Wallace, I mean, just watch the debate and just watch it with an open mind, and you'll see how much favoritism there is between Chris Wallace and Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. And not to mention, even like our last podcast, Mel, it was a decent podcast. It's because it's titled around presidential politics. It's sheltered right now.
Are you kidding me?
No, absolutely not. Normally we get a couple hundred views on each video, but this one here is.
We got to change the title on it then.
We got to do something. But I mean, and I even boosted this one, so it's got a little money behind it to even get more views.
Are you kidding?
And
me?
It's still trending below our other videos that we normally publish, and it's because it's back to your theory around.
There you go.
The media controlling the word, and they absolutely do. And
yeah, but and the look on Wallace's face when Trump would start in and interrupt him, he'd get that shit-eating grin on his face because Wallace thought that there he goes Trump again. He's making an ass out of himself. But that's not the way I saw it. There's Trump in it again. He's not going to listen to your crap. He is not going to take your crapola. And I don't think I'm alone in thinking that either.
I don't think you are either. But to me, the purpose of the debates, Mel, guys like you and I are no different than guys that are on the other side of the fence where they're already head over feet in support for Biden.
Good point.
And he really needed to articulate that debate to where there are some people in the middle of the ground. And so to me, the debate defined one thing for Biden. If you were in the middle and the reason you were hesitant about voting for Biden was because of his incompetencies and his ability to craft a sentence together, he did fairly well in that.
He did better than I thought he
did. He did way better than I
sure.
And so if that was your hang-up, why you may not have voted for Biden, then you probably decide to go with Biden. Now, if your hang-up with Trump is that I just don't like the way he tweets, and he's such a so non-presidential, and he's so arrogant, and which I hear that a lot, Mel, especially out of the older crowd and women. And he didn't offer anything that
we didn't already look at him on that.
Yeah.
But then again, of course, maybe for the entertainment value, maybe he's pumping the crowd up to get him to the next show.
And that could be as well.
I mean, the guy's a strategist. So do not ever underestimate his ability to draw a crowd.
Or strategize.
There's over 30,000 people at his last rally.
Yeah.
COVID be damned.
Well, yeah, and he hit really hard on COVID and opening up the country and really keened in on the idea that, while Joe, you think the best thing to do is to shut down the country, it's not, and nobody wants that.
And he said that's exactly and that's what Joe said he was going to do.
He did say he was going to do.
He said, as soon as I'm president, day one, we're going to mandatory mask the entire country.
Yep, and Trump was very clear about that's not what the American people want, and I think he's right about that.
Want it or is that? I don't think we even need it. I mean, the numbers aren't weighing out to be that this is anything like they claimed it was going to be.
No, absolutely not.
And especially you take the 200,000 U.S. deaths when I guess the provisionals are 94% of them provisional deaths, which means that
likely died of other circumstances.
They had COVID. but it wasn't the killer.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I think in years from now, and I'll call it now. But you look back at this time in 2020, and 3 or 4 years from now, when the numbers actually shake out, 600,000 a year die from heart disease or heart attacks, heart disease. Yeah. Cancer kills 460,000 a year. Yeah. And you're going to look back, and all those numbers, either they're going to be worked out like you're saying because they're provisional, or you're going to see major declines in people dying from heart failure.
Well, 60,000 people a day die, period.
Yeah. So, yeah, 42,000 die in car wrecks. Yeah. You don't see us banning cars. So I don't know, Mel. The other thing I thought he really did well on was about the I've done more in 47 months than you've done in 47 years. And
that was so perfect timing. Yeah.
I wish he would have capitalized on it a little bit more, because it is so important, the fact that, from the very beginning, his campaign's been all about draining the swamp.
Yep.
And, I don't give a shit whether it's Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, or Joe Biden. I don't care what side of the aisle on. If they've been in there more than 8 years, they need out. I'm sorry. They got to go. And I do think Trump, if it wasn't, and he may do this now, that if he gets elected in November, he may push for term limits
for
the Senate, and for the House, and for anything really, because he no longer needs the Republican backing, and I think you'll see.
He won't need any backing. He won't need anybody's backing.
You'll see a whole dynamic. You'll see a new Trump in 2021 that you've never seen before, because he's had to play politician for the last 4 years to reinsure his reinstatement here in 21.
He could potentially redefine the entire party.
He could,
and where the never Trumpers are ousted. So this guy's doing what he said he was going to do every inch of the way, and the concept of the swamp. There's so many deniers out there, because you're never going to hear Rachel Maddow talk about it, and that section of the media, the Rachel Maddow section of the media, that's like 85% of the media is not going to just like shelving our program because we talked about Biden. I mean, sure. those things, they've got that. Or our little rinky-dink show in the middle of nowhere, just two morons in a dirt town in Kansas, all of a sudden they're afraid of us. They think we're so powerful they got to waste time by shutting us down. I mean, how pathetic can you get? So as people look at that and they start weighing those things, and they realize that it doesn't just impact national people, it's impacting the local guys that are just,
as you would say, shit the beds.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the last thing I want to touch on before we go on, or final thoughts, but the law and order deal, where he got into, picking on Biden about not even being able to say the words law and order. He couldn't have said it any better. And I thought he could have maybe hit a little harder on that, but he had him with his back up against the ropes on that. And there's no defining it. And he's
and then the dumbass had the nerve to say that Hunter Biden didn't do any of those things he's accused of. I mean, what the hell?
It is absolutely true.
It's absolutely, it's black and white everywhere you turn. And he has the nerve to say that, but how many people are saying that, oh yeah, no, it's all, and not how many people, half the people are saying that, oh, that's blown away, our reports never really happened. And half the people are saying, well, it's not like defund the police, it's that well, that's exactly what he said, was defund the police. And the New Green Deal, the New Green Deal, or the Green New Deal, he changed the wording of it, but he's going to have AOC run it for him. Yes, he didn't back away from that.
So I support the Biden plan or something.
Oh, it's just insanity. So, but if half the people believe that bullshit, then.
So going into the next debate, knowing what you know now, knowing what you've seen, what kind of recommendation would you give Trump going in there? I mean, I want him to be a little more orchestrated, and
who's the moderator for this next one?
To me, it doesn't matter. He can almost assume that the moderator is going to be just as left as Wallace was. It may be even worse.
I heard worse. I heard that the new moderator was actually worked for Biden, was actually involved with Biden at one time or another. It was even worse.
Yeah, could be, but which is fine. I mean,
if he's going to take on all comers, he has to be twice as affronted as they are. If they're going to interrupt him, if they're going to stop him, if they're going to change the subject midstream to protect Biden, he's got to come out swinging again.
See, and I think too, he called out Wallace early on in that deal, and he could have if he would have paid better attention, Mel, and I'm talking, and I'm sure it's very difficult when you're up there debating.
And you're actually in the middle of it.
Actually in the middle of it, to manage it and see
how
what's
many times I wish I would have said something.
Oh, I do too. And you know, even sitting on the bench as a commissioner, it's so hard sitting there at the panel to see the reactions of everybody's and understand where you're at when you get to watch it firsthand. But he could have turned that on Wallace even more and said, "This is what I'm fighting, folks. All these things all these bad things they say about me and make up about me, I'm constantly fighting the media. And here's a perfect example." And he could have completely deflected the interruptions just by saying that, because Wallace also interrupted Trump. Dozens of times. Yep. It wasn't just. I mean, it was pretty sickening to watch the way Wallace actually performed, and I can't imagine that Wallace's colleagues were happy with the way he performed. I mean,
well, he lost control of the thing pretty early on, but was that intentional? I mean, knowing that Trump was going to be volatile on those things, and knowing how slouching Joe was going to be, maybe this is the inevitable, no matter who is up there.
One thing I'll say about Trump, while he's fairly aggressive in conversation, he's very poised as a decision maker.
Oh yeah, and when he does talk, he thinks fast. He thinks real fast.
Yeah.
And so he's thought it out before he says a word. He's got an inkling what he's talking about. He doesn't blurt shit out.
Anything else?
Yeah. How was drag race?
Oh yeah. So if you guys missed it, I'm sorry, but this past weekend they had the nostalgia drag. So just about like everything in Ark City or Cali County in general, it's been shut down, right, because of the COVID 2020 here, and even the Tumbleweeds canceled the car show, which is the second largest event in Ark City. Ark Law got canceled, which is the largest event, and so the Mid-America Dragway, which is out just 7 or 9 miles west of Ark City, and I don't know if you guys have been out there since they've redone it, but they bought that track 2 or 3 years ago and been rebuilding it, and they've got covered stadium seating. They had food trucks out there. They've always got a cafe going, but they had over 490 car entries, which is as much as what the Tumbleweeds has on a light year, and races Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning until we got rained out. But
weren't they turning people away?
I don't. Well, if you didn't want to wait in line, you absolutely wouldn't turn away. They had them backed up to the highway for most of Saturday. I mean, it was that busy. And so, I thank them very much. We sponsor them. You guys do as well over there over at Coon Mechanical. But Mel, these guys actually put something together that we all should be proud of, and I'm glad they did it.
So it's because I just Kim Jong Kelly, get the hell out of our way. We know how to run this stuff. And now, are we looking at a potential COVID flare because of this?
No, I don't think so.
And
they were. I mean, to be completely fair, they were respectable in the sense of saying, hey, we want to keep everything safe, want to keep everybody safe, being political about it, but you got out there and people weren't picking their nose because they had a beer in their hand, No, it was a fantastic turnout, and they really did deserve it.
So in 2 weeks from now, there's no COVID spike. Are we owed an apology?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what they're going to do. So they're going to have a race there this weekend. So Saturday night they're racing, and Sunday they're racing. So you guys ought to go check it out. Saturday night, Sunday night, Mid-America Dragway this weekend. Go. It's cool.
Excellent.
They've done a nice job.
Speaking of racing, my friend Sam Hunt died.
I know it. Sam was a good man to us, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a good friend. Been to many of these shows. He's had many times.
Sits there in the audience a lot of times.
Yeah, it's breaking my heart. As you get old, you start running out of friends. Never thought I'd see that happen.
Mel and I were talking yesterday at the service. It was like, Mel and I have lost a couple of friends in the last couple of years, and who'd have thought you'd outlived them?
Oh, no kidding.
You've been harder on your body than anybody I know.
Why did they let me outlive them? Golly, you're tough enough. Yeah. So the car show overshadowed by Sam Hunt, but That car, that was pretty spectacular. I got out of town just as they were closing Main Street off for the big Summit Drag Main.
Which the chamber put that on. I was glad they did.
I'm glad they did too. I didn't realize it was so heavily attended. I had no idea there was that many people.
Yeah, so kudos to those gals that put that on.
Cops did a good job, I think. I hope.
Yeah, as far as I know.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So yeah, I guess talk about wage disparity
next time.
Yeah.
City street crews still
banging
kicking
it out,
ass, taking names,
banging it out, and seems to spill on over into the other crews.
Outside of the into the parks department, some of the other things.
Yep. Seems to be pride, smiles on their face when they're driving around, and I like to see it. And it's no longer, the joke used to be what's white and sleeps three, a city truck. It's not, they're coming around. He's a new city manager. I think the whole thing's coming around. I like to see it.
That's great.
I like to see it.
Anything else?
I can't think of anything else. You?
All right. No, I gotta go.
All right, my friend.
All right, guys.
Ding out.